we're live.
Yes. Welcome into the Pick Six podcast. It's the Tim McKernan Show from the HomeLoanExpert.com studios. Joined this evening for a very special edition of the Pick Six podcast by Action Jackson and producer Joe. The fact that all six participants are not here is solely my fault because we were going to do it yesterday. And then what happened yesterday, Jackson?
What did happen
We were
yesterday?
going to do it yesterday, and then something happened.
We got caught up with so much shit.
Yeah. And then we were going to do it today at noon. And then I was in a sales meeting that went a little longer. And so I said to Jackson, hey, is it cool if we do it tonight? Jackson, God bless him. Joe, I thought he might be out with the ladies. This Jackson's a coxman.
Is he? Does Jackson disclose where he lives?
Yes,
Yeah.
he does.
Okay. So
I'm on the hill.
And he also, when he does his Mark Hanna library, he kind of brags about having, all this new money.
Yes.
Which is very new money. Which is very new money of him.
I remember my first few radio checks. I thought I was so rich.
I got to tell you something, Jack. I don't know what the hell they were paying you. I think I have a ballpark idea what Jackson's doing. Of course, Jackson's doing like 30 things, so it's a little different deal. This is Joe's opening to take a shot at the producers on TMA. I know that's what it was. I felt it.
I did it in a text message to Jackson at some point, and then followed it up with the fact that if he's feeling really down, Unit would be able to take care of him. No, I would have to imagine that. I mean, I moved here over 18 years ago and started. So you would have to envision the fact that, yes, he should be probably making more than I was at that time.
Well, yes. I mean, but
I took a pay cut.
Cost of living, we have inflation.
Yes.
But he's doing the 101 thing. And I got to tell you, they love Jackson. Do you feel loved at Hubbard, Jackson?
Yes, I do. And I
should.
reciprocate that love.
Yeah.
I made more money cutting grass as much as people want to make fun of
For
me.
those of you considering getting into broadcasting,
Like
here is a bigger warning than anything me or Doug can tell you.
It's all cash, too, probably, right?
More. And yeah, but I mean, I would not have enjoyed my life quite as much, I suppose.
Just being
cutting grass and Hickory
grass?
Flat. Cutting grass and Hickory Flat was great. Don't get me wrong, but enjoying life because I had a good little run there for a good little while.
Yeah, now that reminds me, you were banging in Little Rock too.
I enjoyed my time.
Joe, I got to tell you something, Jackson. Joe did well.
I've heard stories.
He really did. He really did.
Yes. Oh, good times. I had the pool at the Soulard Country Club.
Yeah, forgot about that. But I just
Yeah.
remember a couple that came through over the years, and I was like, wow, producer Joe's got her. I got to tip my cap, you know? It was nice. There's something about that landing strip.
It's a magnet, baby. It's a magnet.
The HomeLoanExpert.com, sponsor of our studios. For those who want to say, where the hell's Iggy, where the hell's G Unit, where the hell's Gangster Pete, they were ready to go. This was me having a batshit schedule this week, so that's on me. It's not on those guys. So producer Joe just got home from shaving stroke, so he was available to jump on, and God bless Jackson. Putting up with me moving this around now 3 times. The Home Loan Expert, sponsor of the studios, online at thehomeloanexpert.com. That's Ryan Kelly. Refinance or get pre-approved with Ryan Kelly. Go online at thehomeloanexpert.com. I have done both, and I can recommend firsthand to you. And once you do, then you work with James Carlton to get insured. James Carlton of the Carlton State Farm Insurance Agency in Webster Groves, 314-961-4800. Go online at carltoninsurance.net. If your insurance costs a leg and an arm, call James Carlton, State Farm. He's my insurance agent. When I switched, they did all the paperwork for me. That's exactly what they will do for you, and you will be incredibly happy about the whole situation. It's James Carlton, 314-961-4800, or online at carltoninsurance.net. This is where Jackson tells us about how much money he's making in his Mark Hanna endorsement.
Yeah, I can't keep the cash all in hand, Tim. Bank every day, back and forth, constantly. They know me by my name over Bank by Hubbard. It's so crazy. No, but for real, like if you're looking to save money in any situation, retirement, vacation, kids' college fund, whatever the situation is, Mark Hanna can help you out. You heard him on TMA today. He's such a wonderful human being. I know Prod Joe works with him. I know that Doug has worked with them. I know a number of our listeners have worked with them. And I think I can speak for all of them when I say that Mark Hanna is the best in the business. Your financial future is something that's really, really important. So you should only trust someone like Mark Hanna because he's knowledgeable, super, super smart. And on top of all that, man, he's just a great human being. So if you don't have anybody, if you're just throwing money into a savings account, if you're not making daily trips to the bank, get in touch with Mark Hanna today. And if you already have somebody, consider making the switch over to Mark because he's the best in the business.
There it is, 314-889-0503. Go online at evergreenstl.com. That's Mark Hanna of Evergreen Wealth Strategies. Yes, Joe. Joe has a question.
I'm genuinely curious about this because we're doing the show on a Thursday night, and so Thursday Night Football's on, and it's the first one on Amazon Prime.
Yeah. I got to see what's doing. I know I have it, but I haven't.
That's what I'm wondering because until now, there hasn't been a large demand for people who are sports fans, sports gamblers, to have a reason to have Amazon Prime unless they're married and they have kids. And my guess is their significant other also has it for shipping needs. So I'm curious. One, will Amazon publish their viewing results? Because it's not television; they're not being tracked by Nielsen.
Right. I actually saw Andrew Marchand of the New York Post tweeting about this today, and they said there will be a delay, but they will have the results next week.
Okay. Because the past few years it's been on what, NFL Network and Fox? Is that right?
Yeah.
And then before that it was on NBC and NFL Network. Is that right?
I believe that is the case. I just turned it on. What do we have here?
Ryan Fitzpatrick, of course.
There he is. Yeah, he got sideways with the Levitard show.
Is that Wentworth? Andrew
Whitworth of the Rammies?
Yeah.
Tony Gonzalez.
I'm curious how it all goes.
Well, what's going to happen is you're going to have people freaking out on social media about the fact that they can't find the game and that they're paying for it. That's what's going to happen over the next half hour. If I can get action on that, I will take that. That's the gentleman exposing his nipple. There's a gentleman. Is anybody watching this?
I see. Well, that's the other part is everybody's probably seeing it at a different time depending upon with their stream.
That's a good point.
I just had a close up of Tony Gonzalez.
I got Kevin Hart doing a spot.
Well, I'm behind you. I feel like I see the nipple, man.
There it is. Wonderful nipple. Tatted up nipple. Wonderful.
What a Hoosier.
I do like the tatted up nipple. Just prefer them on females. All right. What do we have last week? Jackson, I'm looking at the standings.
Is
it true that Ken Strode is leading the Pick Six podcast?
He is. And I do want to. I thought maybe he would be on here, and I did last week send a text message.
You texted with Iggy?
No, God, no. To the people that I will converse with, but he had Victor Hovland as the top Scandinavian, and it was a plus 230 wager, and Victor Hovland was tied for that with a Dane. And so I did a little bit of research, and it's happened to me before, but I wanted to see if DK did it or not. But there's a thing with golf wagering that's called dead heat. And so what it does is if you're tied with two people, your win gets cut in half. If it was three people, it'd be cut into a third, etc. So he went 4-2, but he only got 115 as opposed to 230 for his Hovland play.
I see. Okay. And that is based on past precedent? Is that the deal?
Well, no, it's based on he pulled the wagers from DK, and DK has it on their website.
Okay.
What I had done is I took a screenshot of what I was able to find from DK. Dead heat wagering is a big thing with golf, and so it all makes a lot of sense. But as opposed to it being Joe is trying to take advantage, I did my best to at least be as transparent as possible. And have we talked about the fact that we kind of have an ombudsman this year?
You're welcome to. I don't know all the details. There's a gentleman, listener Jordan, who keeps a spreadsheet. Is that correct? Am I right on this? Maybe I got somebody wrong.
I don't know. That's not the first name of the person I've been conversing. Okay. He might go
like Ben. Ben, is that you? Was it Ben? Am I right?
No, it is
Gentle Ben.
Gentle Ben. He's got
his initials are BC, and so he asked the question on that too. But I would just rather be transparent as much as humanly possible, unlike certain people in local government. No, I went local government, not anybody affiliated with the show.
Look at this. I'm looking at the records for the first time. So what do we got, Jackson? Do you know it off the top of your head what the Gangster Pete's weighing us down?
Yeah.
Yep.
Everybody's else is doing
plus
pretty
money.
damn well here.
Yeah.
Everybody's plus money except for Pete.
Wow.
We've made as a podcast, if you took all our bets, $1,290.
How about that? This is a little VC fund here. So I guess Iggy had the best week last week.
No, Unit did. Unit was 5-1.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. Jackson, do you have his picks or you have them, Joe?
I have his pick.
I've got them, yeah.
All NFL all the time. What do we got?
He started with the Cowboys +8. Followed
Bengals.
+8 with the Cowboys and a backup quarterback. He is on the Arizona Cardinals Rams over 51.5. He is on the Saints, and it looks like he bought a half point because he's on the double juice at -120. He is on the over of that Thursday night game that's about to start, over Chiefs Chargers over 54.5. And he bought another half point with the Seahawks at +10. Now, these were his lines yesterday when he sent them in, and I prefer to just be clear about that.
Yeah, no, I understand. I think that should be honored because it wasn't the player's fault about when we went off. It was my fault. All right, G Unit is in. Who did the second best last week? Was that Ken Strode?
Ken was 4-2, and yes,
I was 2-4, I think.
Yeah, you were 2-4. Yeah, Ken was came in second last week at 4-2. So,
all right, what does Iggy got? Teasers, I assume.
Yeah, I'll read them off here.
Always good for broadcasting.
Yeah, pack a lunch here. He has the Packers in a pick'em. So he had 3-team 10-point teasers. Packers in a pick'em, Rams in a pick'em, and the Denver Broncos in a pick'em. So a little 3-way pick'em there. His next teaser is Bengals +3.5, USC -2, and Kansas City, Los Angeles Chargers over 44.5. He has then his next teaser is Buffalo Pick'em, Niners +1.5, and Kansas City +6. Then he gets into golf, which he submitted to me before everything started.
Yeah.
He's got Maverick McNeely top 40, and that's -165. And then he's got Brendan Steele top 40 -110.
all right. Hey, did you bother to tell him that the 2 games he lost last week were 10-point teasers? Just
No, that's his. I mean, he's gonna go 10-point teasing whether I tell him to or not.
Yeah, it's a great philosophy.
He is +625 and 9-3 on the year. G Unit is 9-3 on the year. I am 8-4, but I can't be third on this podcast because I went 2-4 last week. Who's up next? Got to be one of you two. If Gangster Pete's down there at 3-8.
Jax went 3-3, so he is up next.
Woo! All right, here we go. I got the Packers -9.5. I got that -115. Then I got Old Dominion, and I'm buying the hook, so +10, so it's -120. They're taking on Virginia. Joe, you sent this pick over to me, and I really liked it, so I stole it.
Fire away.
Alabama first half -30.5 at -115. I think they'll smoke them in the first half and then peel back. I got the Philadelphia Eagles -2. And I have Miami of Ohio +20.
Wow.
Yeah. So there's my 5 picks.
All right. That would mean I'm up next because Tim would have the tiebreaker on Pete from the full season at this point. Or actually, no, Pete was -240 last week. Tim was -250. So Pete's up next or after me. My first one is Georgia, South Carolina under 55. That line had changed, Jackson. So since we're recording now, I have got Michigan, UConn under 60. That's -105. I have got Oregon -3.5. They're playing BYU. I have the Wake Forest team total over 40.5. That is also minus 105. And I've got the Bama first half, like you mentioned, Jackson, minus 30.5.
What was that? What was the number on the South Carolina under 53?
55. It went up to 55. That number moved.
Thank you.
That number has moved. Those are my picks.
All right, Gangster Pete's up next.
I got Gangster Pete's pick, and I guess when you're sitting there in last place, you gotta go all in. He's all 6 of his plays tonight are in this Thursday night football game.
Wow, Gangster Pete.
Wow.
So he's got the Chargers team touchdowns over 2.5. That's minus 140. He has Clyde Edwards-Helaire over 45.5 rushing yards. That's minus 105. He's got Juju Smith-Schuster over 55.5 receiving yards. That's at minus 125.
He's expecting an offensive bonanza tonight.
Mm-hmm.
He surely is. He's got Travis Kelce over 6.5 receptions at minus 145. And then this play I like the most personally, but I don't know what you guys think. He's got Patrick Mahomes to have more completions than Justin Herbert. That's minus 150.
That was minus what?
Okay. 140. So Gangster Pete's going all in.
He's all in tonight on the Chargers and the Chiefs.
Yeah, if a Bosa gets loose and really ruins that for the Chargers defense is kind of good. So
Jackson, is the action on me?
yeah.
All right. Well, I can tell you, Gangster Pete, be on notice because the Wizard, who went 5-0 last week in his Super 5 contest or whatever the hell the thing is in Las Vegas, which is just unbelievable. Guess who he likes tonight?
He likes the Chargers.
That's correct.
I just put money on the money line.
There you go. He likes I know he bases it on the spread, and you're getting 4 points right now. And so if the Wizard likes it, the Tam Avenue Capital Partners like it. My first pick tonight, the Chargers +4. Joe, Jackson can vouch for this. I actually bet it, so it's on my tab right now. I still can't believe that it was out there. I kind of feel like I should have bet more on it. I only bet 1 unit. Austin Eckler, 100 yards combined receiving and rushing yards. That was even. Does that strike you as too good to be true?
It seems really, really light, especially against the Chiefs defense.
Right. I don't know. I guess maybe because they go with Josh Kelly and he takes some of the snaps away from him. That's the only thing I can think.
I don't know. I watched. Yeah, that's a strange one to me. Especially, it's the Chiefs defense too. Unless the thinking is that the Chiefs are going to get out front and it's not going to be dinking and dunking, but there's no Keenan Allen tonight either.
I know.
Right.
So I jumped on that when I saw it yesterday. Yeah. Patriots -2. Patriots -2. We are going contrary to where the public is. The public is all over the Pittsburgh Steelers. Let me see where that is. Yeah, it's still Patriots -2. Son of a bitch. Nebraska +11 at home against Oklahoma. Nebraska with the coaching change +11 at home against Nebraska. And I feel like this is, I got to take it. Jackson and I were talking about it in the studio in a commercial break, so we're all on it. Alabama -30.5 first half.
Yeah.
I can't concede it when I think it is a golden bet.
And that's minus 115. But yeah.
Fine by me. Yeah. So there it is. Once again, Chargers +4 tonight. Austin Eckler, 100 yards combined receiving and rushing. Patriots -2 against the Steelers. Nebraska +11 at home against Oklahoma. And I am on the same thing that Prod Joe and Jackson are on. Alabama -30.5 in the first half. There it is. My plays are in. Before we go to the locks, I would like to tell the people about Munganess St. Louis Acura and Alton Toyota. That's Jamie Burkhardt. That's Clayton Patterson. My car is currently with them and being repaired as we speak because somebody in my house backed into somebody's car in my house. I'm not identifying the parties, but my car is currently getting repaired. And we are grateful to Jamie Burkhardt, Clayton Patterson, and Peter Munganess and everybody at Munganess for taking care of it. They're online at stlouisacura.com. and altontoyota.com. And if you would like a direct connection, email me at tmckernan@insidestl.com. And finally, Seth Goldcamp, And Design Air Heating and Cooling. I'm down in my basement. I mean, you are looking at my bed. This is my bed. This couch is my bed, and this is where I reside, and this is where I keep it 65 degrees when I go to bed. Thank you, Seth Goldcamp. And this coming week, we got some heat, and so if you run into an air conditioning problem, make sure you go to designairservice.com. Design Air Heating and Cooling got highs in the 97 now on Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit! Y'all know about that? I didn't
Yeah.
know that. I knew it was going to be hot, but now 97. Wow. Then 95 on Wednesday. Perfect weather for the Michelob Ultra Lemmings Open, Jackson. High of 8.
Can't wait.
Perfect weather. And I
Can't
don't mind the heat. I'll take the heat over the bullshit we'll have here in a couple months. So there it is. Design Air Heating and Cooling online at designairservice.com. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for our locks of the week.
I've got Unit's lock of the week.
What we got?
He's paying the double juice, but he is taking the Lions -1 at -120.
I looked at that.
I'm shorting the Lions this year. I get the hype, but
they play close games.
They do. Dan Campbell likes to cover.
Yeah. I didn't watch a second of Hard Knocks, so I couldn't tell you what that was or what it was like. But I do know. I just remember last year that it seems that he at least has the team playing for him, and
Sure.
You've watched guys just be,
Yeah.
Teams just hate their head coach and just don't give a shit. That doesn't seem to be the case there.
First game that they're not a dog in 24 weeks. So
Shit, Tim, do you remember? I mean, it'd be relatively simple to look it up, and I just don't know if there's any value. But like the Rams' absolute terrible streak, if there was a stretch like that where they were dogs.
Oh, it's a good question. I don't recall that. I really tuned out on the Rams. Jackson's probably the better person to ask. He was Mr. Rams when they were dreadful.
I would like towards the end, there were definitely games where they'd be favored. I mean, shit, they beat the Raiders like 53-0 one week. So they had to the next week, if they played some bum ass team, they for sure would have been the favorites. But maybe like in that like Spagnuolo era, I could see that being the case.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm watching.
Sure, at least like close to 500.
Yeah. I'm
inspired football.
Yeah. All right. Do you have Ken's play?
Yeah.
Ken's play.
Ken's play. Going back to golf.
Oh, wow.
Cam Smith, T10, -165.
Where the fuck's he playing? Europe?
Live.
Liv doesn't have an event this week, though. Right?
I didn't think so.
I'm looking it up right now.
I mean, I know Rory's playing in Europe, so.
Yeah, he's probably playing in that, I assume.
Yeah.
DP World Tour?
Yeah, there's some event. I don't know. All right.
I think he's got him top 10.
Who's next? Jackson, you're up next?
Yeah.
What do you got? No idea yet.
I'm with you on the Patriots. All of the public is all over the Steelers getting points at home. We're not going to worry about that. We're going to take Patriots -2. That's my lock.
All right. No, it's me before Pete. I gave this one to Jackson yesterday or whenever you're recording it. He is a shot out of the play right now. But I got Pendrith top 40 this week at -115 or -135. Pardon me. The Canadian who, Tim, did you go to school with Justin Ray or is he younger than you?
I did not know him. If I did, it's like what's the guy who does all the voiceover work on ESPN? Wright Thompson and the writer.
Oh, okay.
I believe we were in Columbia at the same time, but I was in the broadcasting sequence. He was in the print. So I think Justin Ray's got to be younger because I think he was at KOMU.
Oh, okay. All right. He's a high guy on Pendrith this upcoming season. So I was influenced with my play here as a top 40.
Justin Ray, yeah, no, he's a golf stats wizard. That's for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Is it my play?
Pete's play.
Oh, Gangster Pete.
We're going right back to Thursday Night Football. Chiefs money line -195.
Gangster Pete. Boy, he really is all in. He's heavily leveraged here early in the season.
He
on
could
one
be
game.
0-6.
He does
He could
not
be
believe in diversifying his portfolio.
He's exposed $850 at this point, or
He really
$850
has.
for this week.
I think when I give this pet play, Joe, you specifically, maybe you, Jackson, will be like, holy shit. Tennessee Volunteers, Akron over 67.5.
Yeah.
I feel like that's kind of like the Alabama minus 30.5 first half, where you go, oh shit, I got to take it. I mean, they're going to score more than 55, and I don't think it's like they have some lockdown defense. So I'm just looking at that, and I'm going, that team's the kind of team that's going to have an over in the 80s by the time October rolls around.
Yeah.
They're playing the powerhouse Missouri offense, but otherwise, that's a team that's they're just gonna score a shitload of points. It's what they do.
Yeah, I've been on Tennessee the first 2 weeks.
And, then you've been handsomely rewarded.
I have. Well, last week OT can go a lot of really ugly ways, and got lucky in OT against Pitt. But
yeah, I think if Pitt just scores, I think I cover the over. I had the over. I think I had the over on that.
Last week, no, you did not.
I bet it for the crime syndicate money that I'm managing.
Okay.
By the way, while we're here, Joe.
Yeah.
And I recognize, having been in a thankless position, probably still am, even though I'm not in the position anymore. The fantasy baseball league, and it is the rules that a tie goes in head to head. And I'm not complaining, because it is the rule. I looked at it as the rule.
Yeah.
Southside Seaman, considered the greatest fantasy baseball franchise in the history of the game, tied with the 7 seed.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh, I got to go make my roster moves. And I'm like, holy shit, I lost.
Yeah.
Again, I know that's the rules. This wasn't you, and this wasn't Yahoo. The Yahoo default is actually the lower seed goes on. And we've been doing this league for so long that I guess at some point, and I might have been the commissioner, hell, I don't know, that we switched it to head in the regular season. Do you recall any of that?
Oh yeah. I mean,
I'm talking about the setting.
Yeah. Well, I believe with the setting in the way that we play, that's the default that we play. I think it's called head-to-head, one win. So you mean like somebody wins and somebody loses. It's not head-to-head, and you get points or categories for however many categories you win each week.
No, it's whoever won the matchup.
Yes. Well, yeah.
So my assumption, and I just was saying in Pat, I wouldn't bring it up on the radio because I didn't want it to turn into a Iggy thing where he's because I recognize when you're a fan, it's like when I'm watching these guys coach my 5-year-old soccer team. I'm never ever going to say anything because I know it's a thankless job, and I'm just grateful that somebody takes it on. But I'm just curious about it, especially when we emphasize the regular season in our league, which I think is the right thing to do, that I was surprised by. I didn't recall when we had changed the setting. It's not about points, it's about whoever won the matchup.
Well, it is.
And if the shoe were on the other foot, I would say, and again, it's not wrong because that is the rule. So the rule is what the rule is, and I respect the rule. But next year, even if I were the 7 seed and the 2 seed and I tied and it would benefit me, I would say whoever had the better regular season should advance. You see what I'm saying?
Oh, sure, I understand it, but this goes back to your coworker and him being tied at one point. That it is, but the way that it works is that we each played 5 or 6 teams twice this year, and so since you only played the Wobblers once, it just became that.
Right.
But if you would have played him twice and you would have won the second time and made up the gap for the difference between the 11 categories, you would have gone through.
Oh, I thought it was just whoever won the head-to-head matchup.
No, but you do play some people
categories.
You play
so
some people.
It's like benefits you to run up the score.
Yes, it does.
No, wow.
But I mean, I was the 4th.
I didn't know that one either.
Our top 4 seeds all lost.
I know.
Yeah.
But I mean, I and that's the thing. I value the regular season, which is why we've kind of weighted it that way. So since the league weighted it that way, I was legitimately surprised. But it is the setting. I'm not. This isn't a complaint. It's an observation for going forward. But then also, I was just curious what other leagues do. But But I think, in football, it's a small sample size. It's a tenth
Right.
of the baseball game. So totally different thing. Anyway, neither here nor there.
No,
That'll do it. Do we have anything else? Do I need to tend to any other business?
We're good.
Thank our sponsors. We all have action on the game. Looks like the Chiefs have been stopped at midfield. So the Wizard in his play, the Wizard liked the under and the Chargers, for the record. Wasn't real high one way or the other on the under. He just said it's not, you can't wisely bet the over on this thing with it being at around 54, 55. Doesn't mean it can't happen, but the guy is something else. Thank you to all of our sponsors, thehomeloanexpert.com, James Carlton State Farm Insurance Agency, Seth Goldcamp, Design Air, Heating and Cooling, Mark Hanna, Evergreen Wealth Strategies, and Jamie Burkhardt, Clayton Patterson, and Peter Munganast at Munganast St. Louis Acura, Alton Toyota. For producer Joe and Action Jackson, I'm Tim McKernan. This has been the Pick Six podcast on the Tim McKernan Show podcast feed on InsideSTL.com.